when I was about to give y'all this work, YouTube cut out on me. So it could be that I didn't have my stuff on D&D, but normally if a call comes through, I can send it away and I can continue my live. But it didn't happen today. And I think it's because you know what it is. It's just the enemy trying to keep, negativity going. But anyways, I wanted to talk about therapy in men, and I got to get this off my chest before I forget to record this. But therapy is so important. Therapy is necessary. Don't let the stigma of therapy stop you from getting things off your chest. And I promise you, therapists have heard it all. There's nothing that you can tell a therapist about your inner thoughts or about what you've experienced and went through in life that they ain't heard before. So take the chance. If you know you got some deep rooted, deep seated stuff that you haven't addressed and you haven't talked about, whether it be grieving the loss of somebody or the way you were treated as a kid or a hostile work environment that you never really recovered from, it's okay to talk to somebody about that. This is Men's Health Month, and men are important. I know a lot of you guys say that you don't feel important, you feel invisible, you feel like you're carrying the world on your shoulders, and that's true for a lot of you guys. Don't give up though. Don't give up. But you got to be doing something in order to make your life better so that you don't feel like you got the world on your shoulders. You got to learn to lean on the Most High, and you got to be able to vent and get that out. So if you don't have a support system, if you don't have a circle of brothers to rally around, therapy is probably your best option. I know a lot of brothers that have gone through therapy and they're grateful. you know I convinced my little brother to do therapy, and he said he's never felt more freer. He said just from the first meeting, that initial meetup, being able to just, because that's usually, that first meetup is probably the most intense because intake is crazy, because you have to divulge all of the stuff, basically tell why you are in therapy, why you're there, and so he said once he started, and my brother's 20, oh shoot, actually he'll be 30. Either he just turned 30 or no, he's gonna be 30. So a 30-year-old black man with dreads all the way down his back, um, talking about therapy helped him. If it can help him, I know it could help you. I was watching, I don't know if you guys ever watched a show called Survival of the Thickest. It's a Netflix show. It's just one of those quacky shows about a girl in New York, grown woman rather, in New York, and her escapades, and she's got a best friend who was a black dude, right? And his therapist was the guy from The Wire. You guys remember Weeby from The Wire? He was the therapist. The first time I never watched The Wire, I maybe watched a couple of episodes, but I couldn't get into it. Shame on me, I know. But the first time I was introduced to that guy from The Wire was on a show called Flatbush Misdemeanors. Hilarious show. I mean, top tier stuff, right? And I'm so mad that they discontinued it, but I was introduced to this guy's character from that. Anyways, his same persona is the therapist for this guy on Survival of the Thickest. And I know a lot of brothers probably, look at a therapist and be like, if I had a therapist that was like him, I would do therapy. But the problem is we don't have enough brothers that are therapists. There's just not enough of us out there. So your therapist ain't gonna be like Weeby in Survival of the Thickest. He's just not. Your therapist is gonna be some middle-aged white woman or an older white man. You know, you might get a sister as a therapist, maybe, but a lot of y'all are traumatized from sisters, so it's like you don't want her to be your therapist either. So you got to pick and choose, you know what I'm saying? And guess what? Your therapist ain't gonna always look like you. A mentor ain't gonna always look like you. It's okay to seek help from somebody that you never thought you would in a million years, okay? Because I've had therapists that look like me. Hey, chaotic, I like that. Yeah. I've had therapists that look like me and they were actually the worst. Truth be told, you know what I'm saying? So your therapist don't have to look like you. Your therapist don't have to completely be able to empathize with what you going on. Like they don't have to relate to be able to relate in order to help you with your problem. A therapist's job is really just to help you re-examine your way of thinking, why you think that way, and to retrain your brain to think in a way that's going to be positive and productive for your life. You don't have to have somebody that looks just like you and came from the same struggle as you in order to give you practical tips on how to live your life. It's really about your mindset and what you want out of it. If you want positivity out of it, if you want to really change your life out of it, that's what you'll get. If you going to find your next homeboy or somebody cool to hang out with, somebody to be able to vent to, it's not gonna work, you know. But I say more brothers need to get into the field, especially if you are already a type of guy where people come to you for advice. They seek your knowledge, they seek your advice. Get into life coaching, go to school to be a therapist, because really we do need people that can relate, to give us practical ways of handling things that make sense to us, right? Because there's a certain way that us people, black people, melanated people, communicate that only we understand, right? So if we're smart enough and we care enough for our other brothers, and we already know that we have a gift in giving good advice, there's nothing wrong with going to school to become a therapist or a life coach. Hey, Kmar, look at JPD back. He said, I did therapy because I told him I don't need healing from the trauma. I need you to help me make better decisions. Absolutely. But little do you know, going through that trauma is what exacerbates a lot of the decisions that we make. We may make bad decisions based on our trauma. We're thinking from that traumatized mindset, right? Because when trauma happens, it literally stunts our mental capacity. That's why we see people with arrested development. You're a grown ass woman, but you still acting like you're 15. How is that so? Trauma will stunt you and stop you right where you at, and you think from that mindset. You haven't grown yet, but therapy helps you to unlock straight up, you know. But here's a brother right here and here that said he did therapy so he can make better decisions in life. We have to do it, especially if you don't have nobody that you can depend on, you can vent to, that will give you solid advice. I got people in my corner that will give me good advice, but then I have people in my corner that will tell me the wrong shit to do, right? Because it worked for them. So there's nothing wrong with therapy, and don't shun therapy because your therapist ain't what you thought they should be. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to give an older white lady a chance at giving you some therapy. It's okay if the guy is Jewish or looks a certain way. That's okay, because there's nothing that you can say that they ain't heard before. Quit stealing my term, arrested. I love that term, arrested development, because it fits, right? It's a thing. It's crazy. But there's a lot of people out here operating in that shit. And it's really sad. I'm like, damn, like how you got this, and this, but you still think like this. It's weird. Oh my God. Come on. So you gonna cut me, but now you going 40 miles an hour. Mm, 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 mm. But I just wanted to put that out there. And if you do decide to do therapy because you're just tired of thinking the way that you think, or everything that you're doing just ain't working, right? And you decide you want to try therapy, um, and you're just not gelling with that therapist, it's okay to fire your therapist and to get somebody else. It really is. I mean, I had a lady, she was pregnant, and I just couldn't connect with this. I felt like she was like a robot. It was just something about it was just not right. But she was pregnant, so I knew she was a human, right? Like, but she was just so regimented and just, it was weird. She was younger than me. I can't do it. Like, I didn't feel comfortable opening up to this lady. So I told my PCM, I was like, I'm somebody else. I can't. So unfortunately, I had to go back and see her again as like an exit, you know, last, last. kind of thing. And I was just like, I wanted to be diplomatic and I wanted to be honest too, so that she could grow and learn how to connect better with people. But I didn't go full throttle. I was just like, I don't know what it is, honestly. It's just something I'm just not connecting. Like, I just feel like we're not really relatable like that. Like, I just can't. And at this point, I had already been, seen therapists in the past. So she wasn't my first, but I knew I couldn't continue seeing her, especially if I knew I wasn't able to open up. So if you don't like that, if you don't like your therapist, it's okay to fire them and get another one. You know, if you have to run through 3 therapists, 4, in order to find one that makes sense, do that, because at the end is going to be better. It's going to be best for you. I keep forgetting my dang on watch. Don't go to jail with road rage video evidence. I know, right? I'm good. I'm good. I'm a lot better with my road rage. See, that's what therapy does for you. But no, seriously. Um, did I tell you guys at the time I had my first therapy? First time I ever did therapy, I was 12, right? My mom was like, "You gonna grow up to be just like your daddy. I'm taking you to therapy," right? So what had happened was I choked my sister. My sister used to be annoying as we did not get along, girl. My sister, she would just butt head. We're 14 months apart, but we would like this butt heads, like wake up arguing in the bathroom trying to share this thing, just like. So, anyways, I ended up choking her one time, right? And it wasn't like serious to where like she almost passed out. It was just, type thing, right? And so my mom saw that as a sign, like, ooh, I need to get her in therapy. Man. So my mom was already in therapy. My mom was a big advocate for therapy. She was already seeing this lady, Dr. Houston. Dr. Houston had, a lady under the tutelage of her who was a new therapist or whatever, real pretty, chocolate, pretty long hair. She looked like a Barbie doll in the face. She had just had a child, right? So she was my therapist. And I had some underlying shit that I wasn't able to divulge to my mom. That's where that anger came from. And I sure as hell wasn't about to tell this lady because I didn't know what she was going to tell my mom. So I wouldn't talk to her. I couldn't. I couldn't. I couldn't tell her what was really bothering me. So I wasted her time. But she was new and she was young and she just had a child. So she wasn't getting the proper rest. Do you know this lady used to fall asleep on me? I would be sitting there, maybe talking really slow or low, and I look up and she's. So that was my get out of jail free card because I'm like, this bitch falling asleep on me. My mama definitely ain't gonna make me go back. My mom was like, "You going back?" I told my granny. I told my mom, my grandmother. I said, "Granny, the therapist be falling asleep in the lessons. Well, Robbie, the lady falling asleep on the child. Why are you making her go? Maybe you should just stop making her go." My mama ripped me a new one as soon as we got back in the car. "What you doing telling her what's going on? What goes on in our house and what we do stays. You ain't got to tell my mama everything." Sure enough, though, I didn't have to go back. So my mom told her therapist, who was my therapist's boss, what was going on. She's falling asleep in the sessions, blah blah blah. Because my mom was like, "I'm not paying 50. This is when it was $55 a session. Okay, I'm not paying $55 a session, for her to be falling asleep. You know what I'm saying? So I did like maybe 5 sessions and was out of there. 12 years old. That was my first experience going to therapy. You know, I can't read that. About to jump in a meeting. Deuces, you too. Take care. I'm on my way to a meeting and I'm late because it's traffic. Look at RPG. What up? Chelsea Lynn. Hey, hey. But yeah, y'all, that was my first encounter with therapy. Crazy. My mama kept making me go back because she thought I had violent tendencies and she didn't want me out here becoming a bully and beating up on people. Little did she know that my anger came from something way deeper than what she could have ever imagined. And I didn't end up telling my mom, divulging what was really going on until I was 19. She found a letter, go ahead, that I had written um, to myself. She found it later. And we talked about it, but um, I think therapy works. Good morning, Michael Love. Ooh, a whole Cadillac. Oh, no, it's not Cadillac. What is that? A Continental on the side of the road. Um, it works if you want it to. If you go in wanting solutions, solution based mind, it'll work. But holding everything in, harboring everything, thinking that the world owes you something, that's not the way to do it. I was looking at a video yesterday that just came across my feed. The young boy that used to be on Tyler Perry shows, his face is so familiar. Young JJ or J something. Um, he did a video about I got fired from Tyler Perry when I was 15. Hold on a second, y'all. And and in the video, um, what happened? No accountability, none. All blame, 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 blame. Him and his friend took a car, stole a car, went joyriding, tearing up Peachtree Street in Atlanta, gets arrested, and is missing from the set for 3 days when he was written into the script. And he's saying Tyler Perry recovered from that, why he didn't keep him on. Instead, he got blackballed, blah, blah, blah. No accountability. All blame, blame, blame. You know what I'm saying? And I just thought that was shameful because it's like, damn, bro, you didn't learn nothing from what you did. That's why you are where you are right now. Accountability is key. That's really how you change your life, is by being accountable for what you did. So if you don't have accountability in your life, you're gonna stay stuck right where you at. And that was my spiel. Look at Demetra. What? What? How you doing? I'm about to hop off of here, going to a meeting. I was just talking to these brothers about therapy and how it's important. Like if you don't have a brotherhood or somebody to vent to, somebody to blow off steam and talk to, therapy is your best option because it is Men's Mental Health Month. So we got to talk about it. We gotta help each other out and stop y'all from crashing out every 10 minutes. You know, change your diet, get rid of all of the junk food, establish your relationship with the Most High, get your finances in order, and pick better. That's really key in maintaining your mental health. What up, Mike Nice? I'm almost at my meeting, y'all, so I'm about to roll off of here, okay? You guys have a great and beautiful and blessed day. Demetra K, thanks for tapping in. I appreciate you. That made my day. Look at that. Look at that. All right, y'all. Peace.